Hi guys. Recently we had a look at the FC4M from AMVR, which is attached to the Quest 3 here, and I liked it. Now, AMVR have been kind enough to also send me the BS1 Comfort Headstrap. So we're going to have a look at how this works in conjunction with that facial interface and see if the comfort is next level when it comes to trying to game in summer, because honestly we've had a bit of a heat wave here for a long time. I think we're on the third or fourth heat wave now and it's getting quite tiring. But anyway, enough about that. MVR, they sent this for free. What you're hearing here, they're my own thoughts on the product. They have not seen the script beforehand. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. So first off, we're going to have a look at unboxing this thing. And we can see we've got a little bit of a guide on what we're trying to do. So we got the Ice Silk forehead pad. Again, this seems to be quite a common theme with AMVR that I'm going to appreciate quite a lot in summer if we definitely feel the chill from that ice connector. Yeah, nice touch that they've got there. So we've got the fan control for the head strap. So we've got the fan ventilation. Got a nice comfortable, I think that has pleather top to the strap. And then we've got the nice little battery compartment. So we've got magnetically attached batteries again, which if you've never used a head strap with magnetically attached batteries, you haven't lived. You really should try them out. Not only do they balance out the headset, but they also provide you with a hot swap to continue gaming. So we've got the little USB-C connector, which goes into your headset. And then we've got a nice little pass-through here, which I've not seen before on other models, which connects almost at the same place as where you normally connect with your headset, which is a nice addition. So we can adjust the head strap. We have a nice big pad on the front, which I say it's on the front, but we're probably going to be running this at a bit of an angle because we want to make sure this halo strap isn't putting pressure on our foreheads too much. I don't know if we can adjust these at all. It looks like they do ratchet, so maybe we can adjust those. I'll find out how to do that in a sec. I can see that this does something. I just don't know what yet. This looks like it's going to cup our heads nicely. And we'll have a look to see what else we have in here. So these little buttons that we're talking about, these are actually for our connected head. So these go in and we push the button in and then that allows us to adjust. And they do just clip straight in. Don't need too much force to get those in. Again, that's a pleather-like material that we have here. So the back is pleather-like, the front is not. I think that might be like the ice cool material that they talk about in the marketing. Let's get the head strap out of the way. And the box. And this looks like this will be our battery. It is indeed. Now let's compare this battery with what we have from BoboVR. You can see roughly the same dimensions. The BoboVR might be a little bit smaller and definitely a different philosophy on connection. The BS1 has marginally less capacity than I've used with the BoboVR, but I don't think that's going to be too big a problem. Most of the issues I had with the BoboVR were not battery related. We've got plenty of capacity spare. But what is nice here is we've got a little button that allows us to, I don't know if you can see that, and we've got quite strong light here. We've got 3 lights that shows you how much charge this has. This will just click on, you can hot swap them if we need, and they're usually pretty substantial juice wise. Every time we clip that on, the fan switches on automatically. We can switch it off by pressing and holding. We also have the ability to monitor. So look, you press to switch it back on, and then adjust up and down with the wheel. Get to maximum, it will beep. And yeah, those are all fairly standard features. Just press and hold that, switch that back off. Let's get this on our headset and see where we go from there. So we take our Quest 3, make sure it's oriented the right way, and then slide it into, and this one might have a bit more resistance because it's got these little rubber inserts in, which actually I think are pretty decent. They in some ways stop the strap from working loose. So we push that as far on as we can, make sure that we get it to their suggested position for testing. There, do the same on the other side. What these markers do for us on installation is we know exactly how far in we've got and whether we have adjusted it the same amount on both sides. So they are, as I said, with the little rubber inserts, kind of stiff, but that's okay. And that is in place. So what I've noticed with this is we're quite tight against the top, you can see here, of the facial interface. Let's just tuck this in because it needs to be the other side. And then that clips in here. I'll do that in a sec. But we are very tight against the facial interface. And will that stop us from moving it around? Or can we adjust this at all? So we do have markers here that suggest we can move it up and down. Not seen that activity. Oh, there we go, there we go. So we can adjust it. So let's do that. Both sides. Now you can see we've got it away from our facial interface. And the reason why we want to move it away from our facial interface is because we want to be able to adjust it. These adjusters are quite useful, but if we adjust both, you can see we move the facial interface. And if we have this rubbing up against here, firstly, we're going to have this weird situation that we had just there where potentially our forehead is touching the plastic. And another point is that if we wanted a glasses wearing user to use this headset with us, then they're going to have a rough time with it if we don't adjust that. So that's all in place now. And just so we don't have compatibility issues, I'm using the AMVR facial interface here, the FC 4M, I believe it is. Now we plug this in. We've got the battery on. Fan always switches on automatically. I don't know if that's a problem. And you can see now the headset is charging. If we switch off this fan, there you go, the headset stops charging. So that's something to note. Cool. So we're all set up. We need to charge the headset a little bit because it's a little bit flat. But once we are happy with this all being charging and ready to go, then we shall do some playtesting. So let's just compare these things side by side. So this is the BoboVR Headstrap. We've got a fully exposed fan here. Excuse the marks. These things all seem to mark pretty easily. The strap at the back with the battery on. Let's be fair, put the strap on the battery. The battery on the strap even. You can see that they balance out pretty well with the headset. And one thing to note here is that these are further forward on the BoboVR unit. Not a huge amount, but it is noticeable when, say, you put them roughly in the same position. See that these are towards the front of your head and these are on top. So I'd imagine the AMVR solution will actually give you a little bit more comfort. We'll be able to test that out as we're playing. The strap at the back seems to be offering you a little bit more room, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Probably cups your head a little bit better. So I'm interested to see if that actually pans out when we start playing.
How you holding up?
Bad question.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sending money.
Take a look at it. Thanks.
Don't hit me with a chainsaw. Well, we all knew that was going to happen. Okay. Tested enough, I think. So, fan here. We're in middle of summer. We're in a heat wave. it's not going to make a huge difference. I don't have any other cooling. I'm outside, so there's kind of a breeze going on, but it isn't too bad. I mean, I've had worse experiences, mostly in sim racing when I'm in VR, but outside there's a little bit of a breeze. The breeze from the fan makes a bit of a difference. I think let's have a look. I think I got it on the highest setting. Ugh, can't find it. Let's try with the correct hand. So we've got here. So it wasn't even on the highest setting. Definitely can feel more of a breeze now. But it was actually quite comfortable anyway. A little bit sweaty because I'm using what they call the cool fabric. I forget what their actual marketing name for it is. But it does help a little bit. I wouldn't say it's a huge difference, but it's noticeable, which makes it more comfortable to VR in the summer. And honestly, with this, I've just gone from a long session of trying out the new Prodigy tracks in Beat Saber, and Beat Saber can get quite energetic at times. So I think that this isn't too bad actually. I want that grenade. So I need to walk around these guys. Got a bit distracted. They're playing, but like I was saying, I think this is a good solution in summer. It does feel like it's cooling quite a lot in, what is it, 30 degrees Celsius. It's pretty warm out here. And yet I don't feel too uncomfortably warm. Do I have much of a face print? Well, you be the judge of that. Do I have much of a face print? Possibly, but does it matter too much? Yeah. So this fabric, feeling it now, it should feel quite sweaty. It doesn't feel too bad actually. But if you feel the pleather at the back, you can feel it's moist. Yeah, I'd say this overall solution is pretty decent. This, I'm not so sure about. It tilts independently from the back. And to give you context, this is one of the other battery components I have, and it does tilt a little bit independently, but it is quite stiff, whereas this one quite loose. Not sure how I feel about that. However, it is quite comfortable, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. This has been running for a while now. The headset itself, quite warm. I should imagine I've been gaming for a while. It gets warm, but I didn't feel like I was uncomfortable in the entire session. I mean, it's vented at the back as well. I quite like how they've done that. You see this little pattern on the back. That actually means that strap there isn't just isolating your head and making you extra sweaty. I'm sweaty anyway, but we're talking about midsummer here, so that's understandable. We'd be doing the product a disservice if we didn't talk about how much it costs. We've looked at a few of these headsets in the past, and I've been using various different ones. They all range in price. The BoboVR S3 Pro that I use quite a lot and I've got a lot of batteries for, that's quite expensive. That's nearly £100 or whatever that is in your local currency. The BS1, it's not quite as expensive. It's about 20 to 25% cheaper. That's not a bad saving for something that does fundamentally the same thing as the S3 Pro. It has some advantages and some disadvantages. I'd say it cools better and it is more comfortable on the top of your head than the S3 Pro. The batteries don't quite have the same capacity and it doesn't feel like it has quite the same build quality. However, I would take those compromises in a heartbeat to get that saving in cash and the improved airflow that you get from the BS1. So overall, I think a great little halo strap. It's got adjustability where it counts, so you can adjust the tops, you can adjust the front, the back tilts to your head position, and then you can adjust the size. So those are all the controls you really need. Maybe it'd be nice to have a little bit more oomph on the fan, but actually, considering we've got the head strap there, I can still feel that a lot. The Bobo head strap is like a pleather, and you can barely feel anything through this pleather. So I'd say this is a much better solution overall, that you've got something that's a breathable material. And I can feel that fan on my head. That's nice. But it's also cooling down the whole area. So it works really well. It's a fantastic little addition, especially with the fabric that they've used here. So it's massively more breathable than other headsets that I've used in the same space. So overall, yeah, I think it's a great little solution. It ticks all the boxes in charging and adjustability, and it kept me cool for a VR session in summer. Honestly, I've been actively avoiding VR in summer because of how hot it is. If you like this review of the BS1, which I think is a great value for money head strap, it offers all of what you get from an S3 Pro at a much lower price. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. If you like what I'm doing on the channel and appreciate the hard work and effort that I put in, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now. Nice shot. Oh.